Just crashed. System crashed just like last night. I don't know what happened. Everything was going really well for me. And now this motherboard shit. So I'm definitely gonna just order something tomorrow. The problem is there's literally nothing good for this socket. Like nothing I really want for micro ATX unless I get like a new case and everything. Like either way it's gonna be a huge fucking issue to have to replace and deal with all this shit. But I guess that's the price of, honestly I didn't even cheap out. It was like a $70 motherboard, which was cheap at the time, I guess. It really wasn't, because there was other stuff for like 50 to 60. It was just well reviewed, and it turns out that was a lie. Literally right after I bought it, like, a flood of bad reviews came in for it, all with the same exact issue. I was just hoping it, you know, it was a BIOS thing, but it's obviously an electrical thing, and they just don't know what the fuck they're doing, so I will never personally ever get anything from ASRock ever again. But that's just me. Alright. Watch it be something else. The problem is it like basically can't be anything other than maybe my CPU, but I've replaced literally everything before. So, and I've used different wall power and whatnot. What's crazy is it's been on, my system's been on literally all fucking day. Holy lag. What's going on? Holy, can't see. Don't like that. Oh fuck, I'm gonna die. If I crash again, I'm not gonna come back for the night. I'm sorry. Oh, that sucks. I have to deal with these fucks again.
You'll be fine. Probably.
What? I hate Nogs. Damn it, I was done with the Nogs too. That's probably the most infuriating part of this. That and the fact that I'm getting fucking destroyed by nothing. Wait, what? This should be corrosion. Yeah, whatever. This fucking Nog is across the goddamn map, isn't he? Fuck him. I'm not dealing with that right now. I'm shook now that my fucking game, not even the game, my whole fucking PC just black screened.
A handy trick.
God, I hate ASRock.
Look out below.
The whole trap miner thing was a big fat ruse. When I get
Really wish I had more desk space so I could just go and fucking, and I could basically, it would cost me hundreds of dollars though, but I could get. Alright, I'll explain once fucking Zero's done talking. Shut up, bitch. Alright, so what I could do is obviously just upgrade my system. Leave behind this motherboard and the CPU. And the problem with that is... Holy shit, what is this? Nimble... Dastardly Nimble Jack. Actually, let's use... Yeah, we'll leave that. Fuck it. The problem with that is, first off, it's fucking expensive, because an upgrade to the latest for anything is probably going to cost me over 500 bucks, and I was looking to spend maybe that at most on a GPU to improve the stream quality, but I guess that would too, you know, not crashing in the middle of a stream is an improvement. Shouldn't this be Hyperion, by the way? But yeah, you know, if I wanted a new CPU, that's obviously an improvement. Because what's the point of getting something new but worse? You know? Like, that doesn't make sense. I can't get the latest motherboard because, in spite of what they said, I guess it's technically the same socket, but it doesn't actually work with older CPUs like mine. Weirdly, other way around works, but obviously I don't even want this fucking motherboard, so who cares? Oh, you know what? That's right, I leveled before I crashed, didn't I? What is this thing's perk, by the way? Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump up and kill lunatic. That's interesting. It kind of sucks. I don't know, the racks haven't really been too smart lately, so... Wow, that is actually greatly improved. They weren't fucking kidding. Whoa. I thought it was a meme. What? 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 Anyway, an upgrade for me would be probably a Ryzen 7. Probably 3700X. I could probably go with the 3600, but I don't feel like that's a big enough jump. So that means what I need to do is probably just get a new motherboard. And it doesn't really make sense to go 300 series again. This is a 350. AB350M or whatever. Because again, I went for a sort of small form factor build because it's what I wanted. And this was a very well reviewed board. It turns out I think most of those reviews were actually what is the... They were for, in exchange for like a good review, you got your rebate or some bullshit, which is actually illegal. I don't know how they got away with that. I guess maybe there was some gray area at some point. I don't know. I could have swore it was always illegal though. At least here in the United States, and you know, the website I got it from Newegg, of course, would be beholden to that, especially since I'm buying from there. Is he still talking? So anyway, an upgrade would be a 3700X, and only things out right now are X570, and the only fucking boards available are from ASRock, and the other companies have really bad reviews for their small form factor board, so I'm basically shit out of luck even if I want to upgrade. So I'm left with B450s basically, which is the generation after mine, but the generation before the newest generation. And obviously it doesn't really make sense to get a new CPU from there unless maybe I get a 2700, which I don't really need. But, you know, if I were going the 570, the latest generation, it would make sense in that I can't use my CPU with it. But I can use this CPU with the next generation, the one after mine, but before the latest. So I can pay $85, which is full price, for a mediocre board from Gigabyte. I mean, it's not horrible. It's just not great. Mostly I don't like its PCI layout. There's no reason for an NVMe to be directly under a GPU. That's fucking awful. It also doesn't have that many slots for NVMe. I'd like at least 2, but it's only got the 1. My only other option is maybe the MSI Mortar, but it's not available anymore unless you pay a huge premium, and it's just not worth it for old tech. or an MSI B450i, which is smaller, and I'd like to have 4 DIMM slots because I have long been planning to go 32 gigs, but I don't even think this motherboard can electronically support that because it's so fucking weak. Plus RAM was really expensive for a while there. Super cheap now. Maybe I will get that. Maybe I'll get that and the Gigabyte board, and I'll just deal with this shitty layout. My other option is an Asus B450. I think the Gigabyte board actually has better VRMs, if I'm not mistaken. Not by much though. And the MSI one actually has like really good VRMs, which is the power delivery system. This is falsely advertised, my B350M. It's been falsely advertised, at least when I bought it. They said it was a 10 phase. I myself am not that familiar, but typically the higher phases, the better. Technically, I don't believe you can go past 6 phases. Anything past that is actually just doubled, if I'm not mistaken, but like, it's still better to have more. At least that's my understanding from... I might be off on that number. Maybe it's 8. Or maybe it's 12. I don't know. All I know is there's like a limit to like... probably diminishing returns, like the amount of board space it would take up to how good it is. Like, there's an overkill point. Which, you know, isn't the worst thing. I guessn't. This is really fucking annoying to look at. This dude don't have a critty bit spot, does he?
Have fun rotting.
Who is it that has... Doesn't one of them have airborne damage bonus?
Marking your target.
Or am I crazy? But anyway, basically my choice is to go with the B450, and that's not that bad of a deal in that not the next generation. It's the next from mine. Like the 2000 series. Alright, let me explain for those who don't know. I have a Ryzen 5 1600, which is the first generation of this like lineup. It's obviously not the first processor AMD's ever released, but it's what they called it. They're very good. They were very good for the price. The next generation is the 2000 series, and then the current is the 3000 series. My board can support a 3000 series, allegedly. I mean, it can't even support the 1600. It's just obviously something faulty. It's not a matter of like... I don't think it's a matter of whatever CPU I have in here, like, taking up too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing to do with that at all. It's simply a matter of it just not being well made. There's just something wrong with it, either physically or in the BIOS that they just don't know how to fix. Anyway, the most current is the Ryzen 3000. I have 1000, and the B450, the board I would upgrade to, is electronically superior to pretty much any 300 series. So if I were to get a 350, which is like a mid-tier motherboard, the 450 is electronically superior to 350s, but inferior to the 500 series, obviously. But it supports the next generation. The problem is it feels like shit to buy kind of outdated tech, because the 500 series, the current generation, 400 is last, 300 is mine. The 500 series has a new generation of technology called PCI Express 4, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas, you know, 400 and of course mine, 300, works on PCI Express Gen 3. So it feels like a huge waste of money first off to go for a 300 series, because they're electronically inferior, especially small form factor ones and cheaper ones.
Looks like your vault hunters are still scuttling about.
Feels like a ripoff to go for the 400 series. Again, it's not up to date in terms of PCI Express, as well as their layouts aren't ideal for my use case. And it doesn't make sense for me to go with a 500 series because the only boards available are fucking ASRock for my form factor. And I'm not about to drop, you know, I know I could get like a $30 case, but airflow is kind of a concern. I live in California. It's so fucking hot sometimes it lights itself the fuck on fire during the summer. I just ain't about that. I have a really open airflow case. It's the Q300. It honestly wasn't that expensive actually, but it's really nice. And I don't really want to have to buy a new CPU either. The 500 series motherboards do not support first generation Ryzen, which is what I have. Unfortunately, even though they said they would, they said the socket AM4 would be used, and it technically is. So there's probably no physical reason other than they just didn't want to put the microcode or something in. But the 400 series does. So 400 series is superior to my series, and there's some okay options for me, but they're kind of expensive for what they are, all things considered. And that's why I'm torn. And that's why I haven't like straight up just done it already. Invested. I guess I will. Probably gonna go for Gigabyte unless anyone has suggestions. You better get them in soon. I do think, I hate to say this, I think going B450i for the MSI board is probably my best choice. I could get 32 gigabyte DIMMs, or not, 16 gigabyte DIMMs for a 32 gigabyte kit, and I doubt I'll be needing that. You know what I mean? Like, if the time comes where I genuinely need that, I think how do I fucking put this? I think the time comes that I genuinely need that. It'll probably be time to just wholly upgrade my system anyway. But that does, like, in general, it does kind of suck, right? Like, I have to do this halfway mark because I was kind of hoping that this would last me a bit longer. And that I, you know, like I said, upgrade to 32 gigs. And maybe upgrade to, because this motherboard is allegedly supposed to support the latest generation. And you know what, it actually is pretty good. I wouldn't put the 3950X, I believe was recently released, which is, what is it, 16 cores, 8 or 32 threads for the socket. Wouldn't put that in here, but like an 8 core 16 thread would probably be a nice little upgrade. But obviously it's not something I can do with this thing. So I gotta do like this half point thing. You know, like in a year I was figuring I would probably have to get either the 8 core 16 thread if I want to continue streaming. I mean, my system would probably be totally fine for gaming as long as I kept the GPU up to date, because unless they introduced instructions that were necessary, because I have an old system. Well, I have an old processor that I wanted to use for gaming, and it's technically strong enough as long as I'm not looking for, like, you know, high refresh rate shit. I'm not looking to get, you know what I mean, like 200 FPS. It would probably do like some 30 FPS console style gaming, you know, you put that, or actually probably better if I did 1080p like as low, because obviously I'm performing poorly because I'm streaming here, that's why it's so low. But yeah, I think it's a AMD Athlon 635. That was about actually that was like two or 3 years ago that I last tried it, and it was okay. But there were games I couldn't launch because it lacked instructions. Oh, there it is. But like I was saying, instructions based issues. Like it just literally isn't allowed to run it because
Someone stronger was going to take over Atlas.
they didn't bother coding
If
it, I
wasn't
guess.
Palawan, it would have been Jacobs or Vladoff or even
Which you can't really expect them to do, I guess. You know, like why include old instructions? You know, when that could take away from your, like there's a cutoff point. I get that. Like I'm not complaining, cause that, holy shit, that system's 10 years old now. I actually gave it to my father because he doesn't game, and it's just like a reasonably powerful quad core. Like it, you know, it does the job. It's fine for browsing and watching stuff. Obviously, like I said, it's not going to get you some high refresh rate performance, you know, but you pair that with like a 950 or something, you'd probably be good to do some very light gaming, some, you know, like LOL or whatever the fuck kids play these days. Does anyone actually play LOL still? Of course they do. They got a fucking championship for that shit. Brutals. I know it's Brutalist, by the way. Why did I have to explain that? I've said it before. I can't tell if I hate this or not. By the way, why is this his gun? Like, I'm not really complaining. There's nothing wrong with the gun. Well, what does this have to do with Jack? It's Jacobs. And he never jumped and shot. It should have been like an Atlas thing, because he kind of had those looking things. Race ball.
New coordinates accepted. Familial target identified. Zanara, Class 2F pleasure yacht. Familial loss overridden. Firing sequence initiated.
Man, it's gonna suck having to fucking disassemble my shit and maybe do drivers and shit all over. Such a pain.
In 3, 2, 1.
Sayonara, Zanara! Shit! Oh, that was amazing! Eat my big bowl, Katagawa!
Yikes.
Oh, come on! I mean, what's a little destruction of personal property between corporate takeover buddies?
Okay, one sec.
Good question.
All right, now that fragment's yours for the taking. There it is! The fragment! Not so fast.
Freeze ball! No!
I mean, I guess my other option, which is technically cheaper, but I don't think it's as likely to solve the problem, is fuck. Hold up, let me concentrate on killing this dude. My other option is to buy RAM. It's cheaper right now because I think you can get like 16 gigs for probably maybe $60 if you want some high megahertz shit, like 32. It's not really even that high. Honestly, I would say that's the standard now. If you're not getting that, you're missing out, brother. Because it's only like 10 bucks difference. Like it used to be fucking $50 difference, and I get you there. But you know, when it's 10 bucks and it's, you know, a decent amount of performance different, go for it, man. You can even get some RGB shit for like $50. At like 3. Actually, you know what? There's like some company called Alloy or something now. Never heard of them until, honestly, you know, it's been like a year since I heard of them. But I've seen their shit go for like $50 with RGB at 3200, so, you know, that's pretty fucking good. That's respectable.
It's finally over. You did it!
Maybe I should get that and see if my RAM's the problem. Because then, you know, I guess it won't match my RAM, but you know what I mean? Then I'll know for certain. And I'll have 32 gigs when it's finally time. You know? Like, yeah, it's an earlier upgrade than I would have liked, but at least it's fucking cheap right now. Or I guess I could even go for like a $30 8 gig
Thanks.
kit. The problem is I don't think I can stream on that.
Remember the fallen. Rest in peace, Respawn. Rest in peace.
That's the second piece of the vault key. Bring it to me aboard Sanctuary.
Okay. I know there are other motherboards I can get, but they're all ASRock. I mean, one of the best looking B450 motherboards is the Legend, Steel Legend from ASRock, but it's the same exact fucking board design, so it's a no. I know they changed out. Damn it.
Perhaps the Iridians were larger than us, or stronger.
I'm waiting until she's done talking. Basically, all they did was swap 8 smaller, weaker MOSFETs for slightly better ones, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just still not worth it. Sorry. I know it's a great looking board, but I refuse. I will not ever purchase their products again. I mean, I had to pay for shipping there on my first RMA, so it's like, you know what I mean? There's no fucking reason for that. Not good enough support to, you know, like if they were working with me this whole time, being like, oh, I'm so sorry this isn't working, you know, send it in. It's like the 10th fucking time. But the last time I talked to them, they're like, are you sure it's not your RAM? Are you sure it's not your graphics card if the screen's going black? And they were, of course, going to charge me to ship it in, so I'm just like, fuck it. Like, why spend, probably would have been like 15 bucks to ship it to them when I could just spend 60 more and get a new fucking board that'll probably serve me better. You know what? I don't have any of these on, do I?
Check in with Reese. He said he's got intel on the final key.
Dialing in, Reese Strongfork. Man, what a
Strongfork.
I bet his ancestors didn't get bullied at all.
His testicles.
Hey guys, thanks for fixing my little death laser problem. Morale is soaring.
You're welcome. So, you said you know where the last key fragment is?
Well, and please don't be mad. I have the third key fragment here in Atlas headquarters.
You've been keeping that from us the whole time? I knew we couldn't trust a guy with a mustache.
It's a siege mustache, okay? Look, key fragments are worth billions. The research benefits alone could keep Atlas profitable for decades. I've already done some experiments with it, some taste test, that sort of thing, but at this point, you've learned it.
Cool. Well, we still want it, even if you licked it.
No spoilers, but I hope you like sour apple. Come on down to Atlas, and I'll have Zero let you in through the secret VIP.
Secret base. It's Meridian, boys. Meridian Metroplex. Morty.
Once you get to the secret VIP entrance, Zero will let you in.
Secret.
Ready for a fight?
Katagawa's been quiet. He must still be pissed off that we blew up his ship. Weirdo's probably crying somewhere in a fondue jacuzzi or...
Not really with the money. It's only like 20 stronger.
Oh, hope you don't mind me listening in.
But your echo encryption is broke as hell.
Broke as
I had a chat
hell.
with Katagawa. He thought he could win a war from an anti-grav swimming pool. So I gave him a little push.
That's kind of rude. How Stop right there, middleman.
I found the key just sitting there in front of the wall. I didn't open it myself. You need the vault key to access it. Got a boatload of cash, and the rest is history. As soon as I made my money, my door, but Aslan de Vega saying
Aslan de Vega.
somebody wanted to find Iridian ruins. They called me, Typhon de Leon, the first vault hunter.
Big fat vault. Oh, I thought he was just alive and just laying there. I was like, what? Why didn't that kill him? I don't even think I hit him either.
I want to see what your guts look like.
That's kind of weird.
Satisfying.
Anyway, that's my plight. Gotta spend 85 bucks on old shit. Or deal with constant crashing. Either that or this whole time it's been really shitty outlet power. Then it would have to be for the whole house actually though, because like I said, I've tried it in different outlets. And it always eventually returns to the same issue.
Oh, you're here. Awesome. Zero, let them in. Zero? You're here, buddy. Open up the door. Oh, great. Now Zero's missing? I guess I'll buzz you in myself because the CEO has to do all the work around here.
Thank you. I really don't care.
Come up to my office / museum grade aquarium and I'll get you that
Museum grade aquarium.
fragment. Now I just have to find where Zero
Why are they so bad?
Easy, Liam. The Vault Hunter's with me. VIP. All access.
VIP baby.
Sorry, sir. Wow, a real vault hunter. Right away, sir.
This here's my favorite.
Yay.
Welcome to Atlas.
Welcome
This place for the
to
Foundation's view of Atlas
paradise.
was just a pile of glass sand and bankruptcy filings when I got here. Nice place, Reese. I'm
Reese?
gonna enjoy watching it burn from the inside
Watching it
Get over it,
burn.
Kanagawa. You can't hold the city. The key fragments slipped through your fingers, and now you're losing your grasp on reality. That's 3 hand things right there. Yeah, you can't get past my defense turrets. Maybe I can't, but your friend Zero can.
Marty.
Zero, you're back, and in one piece. Not that I doubted you. I will never doubt you. I'm rambling. What do you have? On the Sonora,
What have you hot there on?
family tree burns to ash. Listen for yourself.
Oh shit, that thing was scary. Scary?
What
Scary.
an absolute honor to have all of my dearest siblings here today on the Sonora. Yuko, good to see you.
Sayonara,
Go easy on that
Zenara.
nacho fountain, though, sis. Isaku, glad you made it. Sana, enjoying the... For a while after I found the vault, Atlas kept me on retainer, which is a fancy corporate word that means we'll pay you to sit around and do bupkis. My contract
Bupkis.
has something called a non-compete clause,
Smendrick.
which I didn't read, because who reads contracts anyway? Big mistake. What the hell? That was the Defense Command Center. Oh no. Freeze! All troops to the courtyard. Where the hell is Zero?
Zero. Ooh, that was sick. That was a good dodge.
Without the turrets, we're sitting ducks. We cannot lose.
Ditting
Atlas.
sucks. Sick duck. Get blasted, fool. That dude just teleport? Can he do that? Is that legal? It's very hard to shoot when my screen is all shaky. Wait, why was my screen shaking? I was jumping. That doesn't make any sense. I feel like there's no reason for my screen to shake if I'm not on the floor. Like what? What's the connection there? What is the sky shaking while I'm in it? Huh? Huh? Throwing a frag. Oh shit, he really did.
There won't be any defenses to turn back on. Hurry!
My name's Brad. That was hilarious. I just yeeted him into next year.
To the front.
Really? Corroding. Forgot I had this. Eh, it's okay, I guess. Goodies for you, recruit. Why is it every time I switch to this, I only have one shot in it? Whack.
Have fun rotting.
I guess maybe what I could do is that 16 gigabyte trick. And, you know, so the problem is it's very inconsistent. Once these things start, like, it's been 2 days in a row, but I might go like a week without it happening again and think, oh, this update to this driver or whatever I did worked. But I guess it always comes back. I don't know what's wrong with my game. I hate when it does that. But yeah, I don't, you know, I don't know what's gonna fix it or what's gonna happen. I feel like that's better because I get damaged too.
Stabbed you in the back. How's it feel, Reese?
It's alright.
Kanagawa. Zero would never betray me.
Reese, Zero is hunting down your soldiers.
No. Zero's loyalty is not in question. Wherever he is, he must have a good reason. You just focus on kicking out Malawan.
The hunt sings.
Oh, damn it. No, hounds. We can't reboot the turrets while their fields are active. Take them out.
Okay. So the thing with the RAM theory is both my sticks would have to be defective because I've tried both of them like in single channel before. Just trying to play games and had it crash. So that theory's kind of not that great. Unless maybe it's the slot, like the DIMM slot for RAM.
Back online. If we can get the rear defenses up too, we might actually survive this.
Just really hate to spend 80 bucks and then have it be my RAM. But then also I hate to spend, you know, potentially 60 bucks. It would probably be 90 bucks and 60 bucks. The tax and whatnot. Like, I just hate to do that and then have either one not be the issue or whatever. But I've already replaced like storage. I've replaced power supplies in the past, you know, and I can test those again. But I'm gonna go and assume it's got to be one of the things that hasn't been replaced before, right? The only non-replaced parts are
Yes, to the bloodletting.
technically
Takes all.
motherboard in that it's the same exact model. CPU and RAM.
They're in the lobby. We're going to hold them off from... What? Zero? What are you...
Soldier,
Everything else has
dare use your
had
last
either,
words to slander
you know,
Zero.
a
Say you're being
replacement,
murdered by someone else.
like an entirely different part put in or been RMA'd basically.
Oh, come on!
You know what? Even the RMA'd power supply, because I thought that was the issue at once. I actually have a different power supply in there now anyway. I have a gold one because I thought, oh, maybe something's up with my system and it draws more than 450, so I got a 550 watt. Either way, both were totally enough. Not the issue. But I kept the power supply because it's a good power supply. And I still have the 450 watt too, which is why I can test again. And I have a different SSD that I again swapped from because I thought, oh, maybe my SSD is going bad. And that's why it's this weird problem that doesn't make sense otherwise. Really? Presumably is that right? Presumably this does the right amount of damage.
Tell me you found something.
Whether or not I jump. It's just that it's easier to aim jumping.
There's no sign of her. Damn it! Where the hell? I've been so busy with this stupid war. Maybe I could have, I don't know, done something to help. It is not your fault. No one vanishes from sight who wants to be found.
Atlas, they lied to me. Bastards said...
Reese, I don't even want
Bruh,
Atlas anymore.
I was listening.
Your brand is over. I'll make more
Hey,
profit
done,
selling your
son.
employees' organs than your guns. Tim Yukatagawa, my brand!
Become death.
I am become death. Really? What the fuck? That's so annoying. All I want to do is be able to see. Like, I have enough trouble aiming. I don't need to go fucking blind. That's weird. How does it know I'm trying to go behind it? Why isn't it fighting my thing? It's kind of got me pissed. I just want to fucking shoot you in your crit spot. I already wasted my overkill, so it doesn't matter. Fuck it. That's infuriating. Oh, now it's gonna fucking fight that. Okay. Bullshit. As I said, infuriating. I will twist in your butthole.
Hunt them down.
All of them. You're wondering why I'm backing up. It's an attempt to get that bonus damage. Don't really think it works though.
This whole assault falls flat on its face. Get rid of those null hounds.
A handy trick.
Corroder rated.
I like you better dead.
There's the command ship. Get those turrets firing.
Gonna go ahead and say it was a mistake to wait this long to upgrade. Or not upgrade, but swap out basically the worst motherboard ever created. I mean, I guess it could. So here's the thing, a lot of these other motherboards are okay looking. I mean, some of them do have similar issues, but that's just like, you know, crashing is hard to define. So like, I'm not saying you know, you can't get a dud from anyone else or some shit. I'm just saying, ASRock lost my trust. I'm sure they make okay products, but I do know AMD's been having some problems with their graphics cards, having huge stutter issues. Like, they're really good on paper, but they've been out for a while. The 5700 XT or whatever, they've been out for a while, and if I'm not mistaken, they're kind of known as stutter muffins, if you will. Like, they're supposed to be really good on paper, they perform well in tests, but I think they like have constant crashing and stuttering issues when actually in game or something. Which I guess if you follow the channel, you know that I've talked about before when discussing upgrading to a new graphics card. And it was why, in spite of on paper barely being better than a 5700 XT and being $100 more, I would prefer the 2070 Super. Because even though on paper the 5700 XT is supposed to be as good, the 2070 Super smokes it in practicals. At least that's all, you know, the results my research has shown, which is literally just Google searches and looking up reviews. So I guess take that with a grain of salt.
Target locked. Firing.
Oof.
It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh, wow. I am legitimately crying. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Vault Hunter Atlas is...
Holy lag.
Now I just have to find Zero. Oh, don't worry about Zero, Reese.
He'll find you.
Your mind games won't work, Katagawa.
Katagawa!
Oh, see? He just walked in. I'm looking at him right now. Zero, man, everyone's just completely lost their... What? Zero, what are you doing? No! Oh no! Oh no! Vault Hunter, Zero's trying to kill me. He's the traitor. I know, I can hardly believe it myself.
I looked all over Prometheus, searching for another vault.
Look at him go. You spin me right around, baby, right around. Is the song still around? I don't think so. No. Big fat Typhon.
Corporation had retained Typhon de Leon, I'm sure they would have been more successful on Pandora. Ah, yes, your loot cache awaits.
Big fat loot. Y'all already know what I do. I'm probably just gonna order a new motherboard tomorrow, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna cry, I guess. I don't know. Probably a 400 series. Again, I know it feels extra wasteful because it's kind of outdated in itself. But, you know, you gotta go with what's gonna work for you. Because it's either that or maybe swap to Intel, which is even less cost effective. Or upgrade CPU as well, which is going to cost me probably upwards of 300 if I want a very small performance upgrade, or probably over 5 if I want a decent upgrade.
I move in, take Promethea, and make Atlas a subsidiary of Malawan. Then I make you vice president of Beach
Wish you would
Streets.
stop talking.
We all win. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. You were special, Reese. I saw that. You brought this bottom shelf company back from the dead. With you in the family, we could have turned Malawan into a universal monopoly. You and me. Brothers, selling the only weapons anyone would ever need in all 6 galaxies. But I reached out my hand, and you spat in it, Reese. So now you're not family. You're just a competition.
Oh no. My only other option might be to get like a Ryzen 7 2700 for about 159 bucks, I think is what they go for. Probably 175 after tax, if I'm not mistaken. And then pair it with the X570 board. But again, part of that problem is the only available for purchase boards are ASRock. And even then, all the boards, including the ASRock, are like 250, so I'm still looking at like 300 bucks. And I'm getting last gen CPU with, of course, the most modern motherboard. The problem with that being I can't take advantage of PCI Express 4, the whole point in getting that motherboard with the older CPU. So it's just a crapshoot.
I thought we were friends. You should have joined the family.
By the way, I'm probably gonna kill him and then have to end the stream. Just thought y'all should know. Thank you.
Don't hold back. Should have packed more.
Oh, I can't change it anyway then.
This was always.
Okay, I don't appreciate that. Let's try out Cloak Buddy, because this kind of sucks. Where did he just go? Oh, Hennessy. Oh, dude, I just bopped his ass, dude. Debated. Why did that do so much? He had about a quarter of his life left, didn't he? Hey. Oh, whoa. Oh, it's the lob. This thing sucks. Oh well. It's kind of a shame.
Well
All right.
done, Vault Hunter. Thank you for saving my bro.
No problemo.
Zero, I feared you had betrayed us.
I was on the hunt. Could not give myself away. Radio silence.
One gonna lob
Like I said, Zero, I super trusted you
the whole time.
and it was completely justified.
As for you, Vault Hunter, I owe you everything.
Mm-hmm.
You fought off an all-out corporate assault, saved my company, and killed my creepy business stalker. But before I give you this key fragment, I have one last thing to ask of you. Am I pulling off this mustache or what?
We tell him this now and we change it to I love it later.
It fills me with a revulsion I normally hold for plague vermin, or a beached whale stuffed with expired mayonnaise, left to rot in the scorching sun of a dying planet.
Weird.
Merely my own opinion.
Reese
Well,
will remember that.
Okay, that's a lot to take in. Thank you, Vault Hunter. I will remember that. Here you go. One vault key fragment as promised.
He's about to cry. Holy shit, where'd it go?
No more parties. Just cold spade.
Very good. That is the third and final vault key fragment. Bring
Big fat vault.
it to me on Sanctuary and I will assemble the full key.
Does this get it? I wonder how good that would be. Alrighty. As I said, I do have to end the stream now. You know what? I'm gonna go to Sanctuary after I grab this little chest dealeroo. Back. Is there anything up here? Enjoy that, I guess. Nobody wants that. Okay, I didn't think so. Alright, let's head to Sanctuary and then I will be ending the stream. So thank you for watching. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one. Feel free to follow me here or on Twitter if you want to know live, or if you want to know YouTube, you may have far consider subscribing. You can tweet at me, leave a comment if you have suggestions, tips, things you want to do, games you want to play, things you think you do better, all that good shit. Or you can just call me a cunt, wherever you think's gonna work for you. But as I said, unfortunately, gotta end it here. Hopefully we don't crash right now. Hopefully I can figure out what I want to do with this motherboard situation, or maybe find a solution. I'll probably research all tonight and then buy something tomorrow, so that means I probably won't get it for honestly another month or something. I don't know. It seems like every time I buy something off Amazon it doesn't take 2 days, even with 2-day shipping. But whatever. Like I said, that's it for tonight, so thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next one, and until then, it's Flak Attack, boys, and also bye.